Katana Zero is in Game Pass. Is this a winner or should I be worried? Stay with me. Before we begin, let's talk about the soundtrack in this game. That is just a sample. Every level has a different song by a different artist that actually is announced on the screen like you're putting in a cassette tape and hitting play. Some of the best tunes I've heard in a game in a long time. Katana Zero takes place in a dystopic neo-noir metropolis called New Mecca. The game's plot is heavily affected by an invasion of an unnamed Asiatic nation referred to as the Cro-Mag War. New Mecca's faction is implied to have lost the ensuing conflict. The player controls a katana-wielding assassin called Subject Zero as he completes various assassination contracts given to him by his psychiatrist, who also supplies him with a drug called Chronos. It allows him to slow down time and predict the future. So throughout the game, Zero, your character, experiences a recurring nightmare of a child in a primitive hut. A man wearing a lab coat comes in to the hut, warns the child to hide moments before being shot dead by a menacing silhouette of a soldier. The child is heavily implied to be you, Zero. Zero is also repeatedly visited by comedy and tragedy, two men wearing lab coats and theater masks who taunt him about impending disaster in the future. So at the beginning of the game, you start out in media res. Subject Zero is sent to extract a kidnapped scientist from a warehouse. The scientist is found but immediately killed by V, a Russian mobster who escapes. His mission failed. Zero revisits the psychiatrist to receive his daily Chronos injection and a dossier on his next target. And that is where the game begins. So I'm not going to go into every contract that you get, but that's the basic premise of the game. What's amazing about this game is that it's the 2.5D gameplay revolves around including aspects of 3D games. So back in the day, perspective was something that was played with in 2D games because 3D hadn't come around yet. So you have foreground, you have background. That plays heavily into the gameplay mechanics of this game. And also, each level begins, like I said, with the killer soundtrack that pops up on the screen, and you have to play through the game stealthily. And it records your run-through of each level. And if you die, it just rewinds you back to the beginning. You play through until you pass. Then it'll show you a video recorded of your actual playthrough, and you can decide to do it again to get a higher score or move on to the next level. That's where the hook comes in. So you see my replay there. Coming back in to this level here, it's just incredible the way that this game plays with the ideas of 2D and 2.5D, and the moves and the movesets are so fast and so fluid. I mean, you're slicing, you're dicing, you're dashing, you're throwing, you're moving in and out of cover, you're playing with the idea of foreground, middle ground, background. This game is just absolutely incredible. It's in Game Pass right now, so if you have Game Pass, download it and play it. If you don't have Game Pass, buy it. If you have a PlayStation, buy it. I do think it's on the Switch. If it's there, absolutely worth a play. So is it a worry or a winner? This one is clearly a winner. Tons and tons of fun. The stylistic nature of this game, that killer soundtrack, and it nails the gameplay and the interplay between foreground and background and the way that you use the moveset to solve puzzles. The story is interesting. Everything comes together to be a fantastic package here. This game came out of nowhere. I tried it because it's in Game Pass. If you're not somebody who likes to play 2D games anymore, and we've all grown up with 2D games, so if you're older, the idea of going back and playing 2D games sometimes is a chore because you're looking for that momentum moving forward from when you were a kid to now you're an adult. You want to play these high-end AAA 3D games. But as I said, taking ideas from 3D, implementing them in 2D perfectly in today's market is something that's very rare. This game is fantastic. Check it out. Don't miss it. If you liked this video, please think about liking and subscribing and sharing this video out on your favorite social media platform of choice. It would help me grow the channel immensely, and I'll see you in the next video.